Luka Doncic is one of the greatest basketball talents of all time. He has a Hall of Fame future ahead of him, and he is just 25 years old. Luka has been a beast in the league ever since his rookie debut in 2018, and has been a nightmare for opposing coaches that have tried their best to game plan against him. With such great performances, Luka has more than deservingly earned his respect from coaches around the NBA. Let's hear what some of the best basketball strategists have had to say about Luka Doncic. Even though the Dallas Mavericks lost in 5 games against the Golden State Warriors in the 2022 NBA playoffs, Luka Doncic proved just how good he is and finished the series with averages of 32 points, 9.2 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. With such a masterclass performance, he earned his approval from Golden State's coach, Steve Kerr. If somebody has been present around greatness and knows how to value and respect it, that would be Kerr. Steve Kerr has played alongside Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and later Tim Duncan and David Robinson. After his playing days were over, Steve Kerr jumped into the coaching waters and has played a significant role in creating the Golden State Warriors dynasty that we know of today. To make things short, he knows how to value greatness, and he definitely values Luka's. After the first matchup between Luka and the Warriors in the following season, Steve Kerr was asked what Luka has improved the most on since their last meetup in the playoffs.
I don't know, he was pretty damn good back then too. Maybe he's just more consistent now. Maybe it's just he's got more knowledge, but he's been brilliant since he entered the league. He might be the hardest guy in the league to guard. I mean, if not, he's definitely one of the top few. He's got an answer for everything.
When it comes to ex-NBA players becoming coaches, it is usually the role players that turn out to be the best coaches. However, Chauncey Billups is trying his best to be an exception. Mr. Big Shot is one of the more recent ex-NBA players to become a head coach, and even though his winning record is modest at best, there is no doubt that he will become a great coach soon enough. During his playing days, Chauncey Billups was one of the more intelligent guards in the NBA, and a great locker room presence for any team that he has been a part of. Aside from his championship, Finals MVP, and 5 All-Star selections, Chauncey has won both the Teammate of the Year and the Sportsmanship Award during his career. So, a great player and a great locker room presence. Chauncey Billups knows how to treat greatness and what it takes to be great, and safe to say, he respects Luka a lot, as Luka has managed to outplay every defensive approach that Chauncey's Blazers have tried throwing at him.
He has an answer for everything you throw at him, but that don't mean you don't throw it at him. You gotta just try it every single night. You just want to compete against him, and then Kyrie obviously presents a different challenge. It's just with his one-on-one, him being able to get where he wants to go. He's just an incredible scorer. But they put you in some tough spots, and then it's not them too. They got shooting all over the floor. So they just got a very good team, man. Very good balanced team that we're gonna have to just compete, make multiple efforts all over the place, and try to rebound and run.
If there is one coach in the NBA that knows how tough it can get to game plan for Luka, it would be Doc Rivers. While he was the Clippers' head coach, Doc tried a dozen of defensive approaches, but still could not contain Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic has played against the LA Clippers in 2 playoff series, one in 2020 and another one in the 2021 playoffs. Although the Los Angeles Clippers managed to win both series, Luka made a statement, putting up crazy averages of 33.5 points, 9.5 assists, and 8.8 rebounds per game in 13 total games. But even before that, Doc Rivers knew Luka was a big-time player, ever since his days as a rookie.
He is a handful. It's funny, I'm sure he gets, I always call it the train after the game. When there's a new good player that's on the floor after the game, you see all the opposing guys go and shake his hand, and you heard over and over again, man, you're good, man, you're good, man, you're good. That's a credit to him. Plays with the right spirit, he plays the right way. He's a handful. I think he's one now. I don't even consider him a rookie. I don't know what he is, but he's special.
The highest-paid NBA coach of all time, Erik Spoelstra, is a basketball mastermind. He has been the Miami Heat's head coach for almost 2 decades now, and has definitely game-planned for some tough matchups throughout his career. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Curry, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, the list goes on.
Game respects game, and particularly vision respects vision. Players that see the game at a deeper level, I think those kind of players really respect each other. One of my coaches, Coach De La Grana, and I saw this at a very young age. We used to travel every summer to see Goran and visit him when he played with the national team. And we saw a young 17-year-old kid on that team, and Goran and he drove that team to the championship, which was really incredible for a country of only 2 million people. But I think now, looking back on that, it shouldn't have been such a surprise. How the heck do Goran Dragic and Luka Doncic, come out of the same place? Those kind of basketball talents, all the stars aligned, really for that to happen.
Although pretty new in the head coach's world, Darin Ham is quite an experienced guy, as he has been an assistant coach for more than a decade before becoming the Los Angeles Lakers head coach. Right now, he has a tough time earning his respect as a head coach, as he gets to have the two-edged sword of coaching LeBron James, but he is open to learning and all about getting better. In a pre-game interview ahead of the matchup between the LA Lakers and Dallas Mavericks, Darin Ham explained how tough of a task Luka Doncic actually is, calling him and the Dallas Mavericks offense one of the leading in the NBA.
You always take the bad news first. So yes, we're planning for Luka to be on the court. And if he's not, then, hooray. But even if he's not, they're still a formidable ball club. Kyrie, Tim, the way they're playing, they played here recently is just, they're an elite offensive team. So our work is cut out either way.
Coach Tom Thibodeau is one of the best coaches in the league when it comes to setting up defensive schemes. A coach with strict principles and rules, Coach Thib earned his promotion from assistant to a head coach by sticking to his standards and tough approach on defense. Thibs was one of the X factors for the Boston Celtics' 2008 NBA championship, as he was the mastermind behind the game plans and defensive strategies against the Los Angeles Lakers and Kobe Bryant. Being a defensive specialist, Thibs respects guys that can still give his team buckets despite all that he and his squad have thrown at them. After Luka posted a monstrous 60, 21, and 10 stat line against Thibs' New York Knicks, Tom Thibodeau gave him tons of praise. At the end of the day, there was nothing else to do with Luka that night.
Yeah, he's a monster player. I'm concerned about, there's some plays that he's making good plays and he's aggressive, but, we can't keep following a guy giving 22 free throws up. So we talk about verticality and restricted all the time, and we keep whacking down. So until we fix that, that's going to cost us.
Frank Vogel is another NBA coach who has managed to keep his job for a long period of time because of his approach on defense. A meticulous and detail-oriented coach who pays attention to detail, Frank Vogel has been one of the most consistent NBA coaches over the last 15 years. But no matter how hard Coach Frank Vogel tries to outsmart Luka Doncic and contain him, he will probably never succeed to do so, as he coaches the teams that Luka has the most motivation to play against. There is no team that Luka does not want to play against, but the Lakers with Luka's childhood idol LeBron James on their roster, and the Phoenix Suns who have a rivalry with Luka Doncic and the Mavs, those are two teams that surely give Luka more than enough motivation to go mad on them. Vogel has experienced the Luka beatdown on numerous occasions and explained how tough of a defensive matchup Luka is for his teams.
Yeah, it was how we were guarding Luka. We double teamed him the whole night. We had the mindset to, make other guys beat us, and we have coverages in place, but we were late, not tough enough with those rotations, and Powell had a great night.
A former All-Star and an All-NBA guard during his playing days, Jason Kidd is regarded as one of the best point guards of all time, one of the rare superstar players that have successfully transitioned into the coaching world. He is also the only guy on this list that has had the luxury of coaching Luka Doncic instead of just coaching against him. However, game planning for Luka and finding unique ways for him to attack the different defenses that he is going to be matched up against can be just as challenging as figuring out how to stop him. Whenever he is on the court, Luka Doncic is the opposing team's top defensive priority, so building an offensive scheme for him to adapt to the defensive pressure requires a lot of creativity, something that Jason Kidd always possessed as a player. Seeing Luka's magic on a daily basis has become a habit for Kidd. However, Luka's performances have still managed to impress him, or maybe bore him.
Yeah, it's getting boring. What else? Let's see something different. Do something, maybe do it with his left hand. I'm just joking.
After so many crazy games that Luka has had, Jason Kidd is left wondering what he could do in the future and what would the next step be for Luka, who is already an all-time great.
No, when someone's going the way he's going, it's like a pitcher with a no-hitter. You try to stay out of the way, but there's also points of being able to put him in different spots on the floor to still be effective without the dribbling or the pounding that he takes. And so playing him off the elbow or playing him in the box on the block, it's after that New York game, I wanted to see if, could we have a Clay type game where he only had 5 dribbles and had 70 points, so that just, that's the next step for him, is to be able to understand how to pick the defense apart without putting so much stress on his body.
Who knows what Luka has for us in the future? Possibly the greatest NBA coach of all time, Gregg Popovich is a huge fan of Luka Doncic. The San Antonio Spurs head coach since 1996, Gregg Popovich has seen all types of NBA greats. Coach Pop has had to be really creative over the years to stop basketball greats like Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and many, many, many others. So, as a coach who has basically seen it all, it takes a lot nowadays to impress him. And Luka has certainly done a whole lot to impress him, to say the least, because Gregg Popovich is a huge fan of his.
None of us has the answer to how he continuously just destroys whatever defense is thrown at him. And I think he must be underestimated as an athlete. You look at him and he looks like he ate a couple too many donuts sometimes. And you don't think of him as an athlete. But talk about beyond basketball IQ, just a feel for the game, making decisions at exactly the right moment. You teach your players not to play in a crowd, for instance. Well, he doesn't even get close to that because he's already 2 iterations earlier. He did what he was supposed to do. And it's his IQ and it's his total kinetic view of the court. He knows where everybody is all the time.
However, Coach Pop would not be Coach Pop if he was not sarcastic every now and then. After Luka dropped a 33, 13, and 10 triple-double against Popovich's Spurs, Coach Pop had nothing to say, except be a little sarcastic and make the tough loss a little less painful.
That was average. What the hell? This is a Hall of Fame performance like he does almost every night. He was great. Kyrie wasn't bad either. So, the 2 future Hall of Famers got us. They took over the game, but that doesn't really bother me that much.
Monty Williams' career as a head coach in the NBA has been highlighted during his time as the Phoenix Suns head coach. He coached the team to 27 straight wins and made a finals appearance in 2021. His efforts were recognized by the league as well, as Monty Williams won the 2022 NBA Coach of the Year award for his efforts. Being the head coach of the Phoenix Suns, Monty found himself in the middle of the rivalry between Phoenix and Luka Doncic's Dallas Mavericks. With Luka always having a little extra motivation when playing against the Phoenix Suns, Monty Williams had an even tougher job trying to contain him, and has experienced firsthand how tough it actually is to play against him.
He's made tough shots. You look at the threes he made, those were over contested hands. Those weren't like somebody else making the play. He's pulling out of the corner and he's got a catch shot wide open. He's making tough shots. I think our guys deserve credit for just staying with it and not getting or becoming deflated because he was making those tough shots. And then in the second half, maybe he missed, maybe we stayed in his way a little bit better, but our guys won't quit. We understand and respect who he is as an offensive player. I'm just proud of our guys for hanging in there.
While maybe not being as successful as Gregg Popovich, Quinn Snyder is up there when it comes to his longevity and consistency as a coach. With more than 3 decades of experience, Quinn Snyder is a master strategist with a tremendous attention to detail. His ability to find the opponent's weaknesses and attack them is the primary reason why he has had that much success as a coach. But even for a strategist of that caliber, it is really tough to game plan against somebody of Luka Doncic's caliber, who basically has no weaknesses in his offensive game, at least not to Quinn's knowledge.
Do you send Luka left or right? Do you think Luka cares whether he goes left or right? You can look at the data. You send him left and he cuts back right and pick and roll if your big's not up high enough. He goes right and he's finding shooters. Is he a better passer with his right hand or left hand? Because he seems to be able to jump up and he passes with 2 hands over the top, more going to his left. He's a better step back from the upside or the downside. We hit 3 or 4 of them against us with Rudy on him. Should we switch the 5 onto him? I think he's the best isolation player against 5 in the league. Would you rather have Luka shooting contested 3 or Bullock shooting an open corner 3? Because he's over 40%. Do you want to double him and get it out of his hands? Do you want to double him when he comes across half court so there's more space for him to pass, or do you want to wait till later? Do you want to blitz him and pick and roll because now somebody's going to roll? And you got Rudy in the strong corner and he can't cover the rim, so that's an open 3. So there's certain guys that make it hard.
With Luka being only 25 years old and about to hit his prime, NBA coaches are going to have a lot more sleepless nights trying to find ways to contain him. Let's just hope we get to see a lot more Luka action in the future.